Hey everyone, it is Christmas time. You know what that means? Lots of Christmas decorations going up all over the house, fireplaces to keep us warm, and the politics of the election are just starting to heat up. So, today's video is not going to be super long. It's just going to be a few minutes, just kind of update everyone what's going on with the election, voter fraud, and all that fun stuff. That's really all that's happening in the news right now. With the weather cooling off and people going inside, people aren't rioting as much. People aren't looting the stores as much. We did see a report come out that Black Friday shopping was down 52%. Really, that's not all that surprising. In the midst of a pandemic, with it, there is no vaccine for the virus yet. It's not surprising that we see Black Friday shopping cut down in half. So, like I said, we don't have a whole lot of news today, so I'm just going to give an update on all of the election voter fraud that, or potential, I should say, the potential voter fraud that has been happening over the course of this election. But before we get into the news, please go hit the like button on this video, minimize this video, and subscribe to my channel. If you want to be a part of helping my channel grow and helping me combat the fake news narratives floating around the social media sphere, if you don't trust mainstream media any longer, subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. Get all of the facts without the liberal media bias. All right. So on to the news. We're going to start with this thread on Twitter from a guy by the name of Cultural Husbandry. So he starts with this. This is going to drag on quite a while. Let me cover the basics. Recounts in Georgia, Pennsylvania, Nevada, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Arizona. Most of these within 0.5%. Therefore, Donald Trump should not have to pay. Even if he does, it's only about $3 million or so per state. And Donald Trump is disgustingly rich. A small price for extending the time frame. Furthermore, Pennsylvania has to section the ballots into two categories due to Justice Alito, which complicates it further. Point 2. Fraud lawsuits. There will be many. Limestone County already has one arrest. Pennsylvania has a UPS worker agreeing to testify in court that the supervisors were backdating ballots. Glitch in Michigan. Pennsylvania and Georgia not allowing Republican observers in, especially during the period on election night when Biden skyrocketed. If you remember, there was a story about a pipe bursting in Georgia, I believe it was. And so they sent all the poll watchers home, they evacuated the building, or so we thought, and they stopped counting, or so we were told. It broke just last night, I believe, that there was no pipe broke. They evacuated all the poll watchers. Meanwhile, the poll counters kept counting ballots. So there was no pipe break. This needs to be investigated immediately. Each one of these is going to be used to eat up time. The Federal Election Commission's chair has already stated that he believes voter fraud took place, specifically citing that the refusal to allow Republicans back in to observe and counting anyway is a violation of law. So let me break this down. For Donald Trump to buy more time and to prevent states from sending electors to the Electoral College on December 14th to vote, he doesn't actually have to prove that there was a significant amount of voter fraud. All he has to do is plant the fear that there was. And then the legislators in each of these states can simply decide, no, there's a lot of evidence of voter fraud here. I don't want to send any delegates until all of this comes to a close, in which case they don't certify their votes. The state representatives in the House of Representatives come to vote, one per state, and it's currently broken 26 to 24. Republican majority, 26 to 24. If that's the case, Donald Trump has a path to victory. Remember, Donald Trump doesn't have to prove without a doubt that there was any election fraud. The state legislators just have to say, let's wait. And if that's the case, and come March, when all of these investigations close, and it comes out that there was no voter fraud, well, sorry, election's over. Donald Trump's won. even though he would have lost if these investigations had come to a close sooner. Each of these is going to be used to eat up time. That's so true. Point number 3. Amy Klobuchar, Elizabeth Warren, and Ron Wyden already got involved in the Democratic primaries, specifically due to worries that Dominion was potentially a threat for voter fraud manipulation. If you remember earlier this year, the Democrats were saying, no, we can't do this election. There's so much potential for voter fraud. Donald Trump's only going to win because of voter fraud. Joe Biden, do not concede no matter what. And now we're finding ourselves, Donald Trump won't concede, and every single Democrat has flipped their stance. Now, to be fair, most Republicans have flipped their stance from, no, don't worry, there won't be any voter fraud, it's going to be fine, to, there's widespread voter fraud everywhere. It's interesting to watch the different parties switch in real time. Now, disclaimer. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not pro-Republican, I'm not pro-Democrat, I'm pro-America. I want whatever's going to be best for America, which is why, early on, I wanted nothing to do with this voter fraud shenanigans earlier this year, the voter fraud talk. I wanted nothing to do with it because it was a bunch of baseless claims. But now, we actually see evidence that there was, in fact, voter fraud, despite the media telling us, no, don't worry, there's no widespread voter fraud. There's the key. Widespread. Centralized. Well, as we're about to find out, the voter fraud was very widespread. It may not be centralized, but there might be evidence that it was. If Sidney Powell's cases go through the court, well, there will definitely be evidence of widespread and centralized voter fraud. A vast conspiracy against Donald Trump. Now, I'm not on that bandwagon because I haven't seen the evidence. But the claims are there. And if we've learned anything from the 2018 midterms and the voting in of Brett Kavanaugh, we've learned one thing. A claim is all we need. And a decades-old claim that a man gang raped a woman at a party, despite all of the countervailing evidence saying no, he didn't. Despite all of the other witnesses saying, no, that wasn't Brett Kavanaugh, he wasn't even there. The claim exists, and therefore, we must investigate. The Democratic hypocrisy on this issue is disgusting. And the American people, you are being gaslit by the very ones claiming to fight for you. They are fighting against you. They are not giving you the information that you need to make up your minds because they don't trust you to make up your mind. All they want, all they care about is the power. I've said it before, many of the other first world countries, many third world countries in the world have a state-run media. Well, America has a media-run state. The media and the government are working in tandem to prevent you from getting the information that you want, the information that you need, and the information that you deserve. You deserve the truth. But the media and the government are out here saying you can't handle the truth. And that is disgusting. Joe Biden was elected, allegedly. Joe Biden was nominated as the Democratic nominee because he was part of the system. And they all hate Donald Trump because he was an outsider. He is a bull in a china shop trying to get rid of all these swampy people. I'm not generally a fan of this drain the swamp language, but from what I've seen, the way the Democrats are behaving right now, it seems to be pretty true. Donald Trump is trying to drain the swamp, and they don't like it. And so they are trying to get rid of him. It's that simple. They hate Donald Trump, and they want power more than they care about you, more than they care about this country. They hate Donald Trump more than they love America. But even worse, they hate you, the American voter, more than they love America. And no, I don't just mean the Republicans. Because they hate Donald Trump because they hate Republicans. But they hate you. All of you, all of my viewers, left, right, center. They don't want you to have the information that you need. They don't trust you with that information because they know once you get the information, once you get the facts, once you start watching alternative news sources like me, Ben Shapiro, Joe Rogan, Jordan Peterson, Dave Rubin, and others like us, they know once you get the information you want, you will turn away from them. They have a monopoly on information. All the people on the left who hate to claim, all the people on the left who claim that they hate capitalism and the free markets, love the free markets when it means they get to monopolize on the information and the dissemination of information. However, once they see information start to spread out on other platforms like Twitter and Facebook and YouTube, they say, nope, shut it down. Which is why we're seeing a vast, widespread, terrible, disgusting censorship of right-wing media on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube, and even Instagram and TikTok. All of TikTok hates Ben Shapiro because he's right-wing, and TikTok is a very liberal site. I'm on there. I spend a lot of time on TikTok. I know the demographics well. They don't want you to have the information because they want their power. The left in power, the powerful left, they want their power more than they want you to be successful. The people claiming to fight for you are the very people working against you. That's proof positive, showing that they have all switched their opinions on this election. Again, Amy Klobuchar, Elizabeth Warren, and Ron Wyden got involved in the Democratic primaries because of the potential danger of Dominion voting systems. Dominion also had a court case against them in Georgia, wherein the presiding judge was very worried about the potential for damage. The glitch in Michigan swapped some 3,000 votes from Trump to Biden. Again, this is just an overview of all the things that we've already seen. Dominion is used in 47 counties in Michigan. It also is used in 30 different states. Most importantly, it is used in every 2020 election swing state. It has some Democratic lobbyists working for them, including Nancy Pelosi's aides. It also violated Benford's law with Hillary in 2016, and it works in conjunction with the Clinton Foundation on Project Dalian from the Democracy Project. So, for mathematical proofs, they will go looking at first digit Benford's law, second digit Benford's law, chi-squared goodness of fit test, and last digit frequency analysis. These are all big words, ones that even I don't understand, so I'll have to spend time looking into them. I suggest you do the same. Again, I'm presenting you the news without the liberal media bias. Don't take my word for it. Do the search yourself. Look at this man's thread and decide for yourself if you think it's real. Go searching for the information. Do not believe the media you are told to believe. You can also use integer percentages as an identifier of potential election falsification. You can run Fourier spectra histograms for leader result voter turnout. You can even look at if the rate of invalid ballots falls, and if you see an increase in the share of ballots for candidates where it is a possibility of tampering, especially if this is paired with a decrease in an opposing candidate's share. For example, if 1,000 votes were declared invalid, and you saw Biden gain 1,000 while Jorgensen lost 1,000, that suggests tampering. Even simple combinations could provide mathematical validation of fraud based on chance due to the down ballot run issue. Point number 4, ballot run issue. Essentially, most of the found votes turned up with weird conundrum. They voted for Biden, but did not vote for any congressman or senator, etc. Essentially, they only voted on a single thing per ballot. Statistically, in the past, this is happening at a rate of 3%. This year, it ran at a rate of over 18%. 6 times higher rate of ballots, but only a 26% increase in voter turnout. Statistical anomaly. Where is this headed? At this point, you are just moving the line back as far as you can towards December 14th. But if you can do it without a state of emergency, the better. If not, you call the emergency powers into play and designate Chinese interference into the election, which is true. A report came out earlier this year that showed Russia was trying to interfere on behalf of Donald Trump. We heard about that, again, by the widespread media that we're told to believe. But what they didn't tell you, the dirty little secret, the skeletons in the closet that they didn't want you to know about, was that both China and Iran were both trying to involve themselves on behalf of Joe Biden. Because Biden is very soft on China, and so they want him to win. Honestly, I'm a little shocked that Russia is involving themselves on Donald Trump. On behalf of Donald Trump, I should say. Because in 2012, when Barack Obama was running against Mitt Romney, he was caught on a hot mic telling Vladimir Putin that Obama and the American government would give them, Russia, more leniency after the election. So I don't necessarily buy that Russia is trying to interfere on behalf of Donald Trump, because Donald Trump, apart from the things that he says, which don't get me started on what he says some pretty grotesque things. But the things that Donald Trump has done in regards to Russia are harder than most any other president in American history, aside from the likes of Reagan, a great Republican president. Designate Chinese interference into the election. That sounds a lot like the last 4 years that we've heard from the left. Trump only won because of Russia. Hashtag not my president. Trump is not the real president of the United States. I'm interested to see what the left would do if Trump were to just switch and play their own game against them. What would happen if Trump were to play by their rules rather than everyone playing by fair rules? Because right now in this election, the Republicans are the only ones playing by fair rules, and the Democrats are changing the rules every chance they get, trying to sway the outcome. We saw this in places like Georgia and Pennsylvania, where the governors just decided mail-in ballots. Meanwhile, come to find out, the legislators are really the only ones that can decide to change the election law. And all of these mail-in ballots may in fact be, according to their state constitutions, unconstitutional. And if this is the case, all of these mail-in ballots would have to be thrown out, and Donald Trump wins in a landslide victory. And if all the ballots were made in those states are having to be thrown out, it's likely that we see every single mail-in ballot across the country thrown out. Boom. Donald Trump wins a 49 out of 50 state victory. This is getting crazy, y'all. It's going crazy. Joe's low opposition to China, Trump's anti-China streak, Trump killing the TPP, and the Hunter Biden laptop scenario all help correlate to this move Trump tells the DOJ to investigate, and they will do to a recent Barr precedent. Barr told the DOJ, go ahead and investigate. Now, people are citing the DOJ claims before this, oh, there's no evidence of voter fraud. And then we get people like the New York Times calling all of these election officials in every single state saying, no, there's no evidence of voter fraud. Well, Ted Cruz said it best. It's like calling up the bank robber. Hey, bank robber, did you rob the bank? And the bank robber says no. You don't trust the bank robber to tell you the truth because he just robbed a bank. Similarly, don't trust election officials that cheated to not tell you whether or not they cheated. They're not going to. You can't trust the criminals to tell you the truth about the crimes that they committed, unless there's something in it for them. And thus far, there's been nothing in it for them. The Republicans in the states in question can refuse to hand over until after the DOJ investigations. Sure, Democrats can challenge, but it will just go to the Supreme Court. Legislature supports all the moves of stalling, including emergency powers, if it comes to that, but it probably won't. December 14th rolls by, and the vote goes to the House. Each House representative gets one vote. Republicans have 26. Democrats only have 23. Even if they hold all 2018 wins and gain Pennsylvania seat, they still end up at a 26 versus 24. 25 with Georgia. Republicans vote Trump. Second term for Trump. Meanwhile, the media has primed the populace for Trump stealing the presidency, so you get even more riots, potentially much more violent ones. The question that remains is, does anyone care enough about the presidency to risk the riots? The answer is, of course, yes, as we've seen factions nationwide riot over far less. Ladies and gentlemen, we have entered the end game. I feel like what's his name? Doctor Strange at the end of Avengers Infinity War. We've entered the end game now. It's time to see what happens. It's time to start digging and see what we find in the dirt. We've already seen some people, like Steven Crowder, do some digging. Turns out he was registered to vote in 2 states, despite moving from Michigan to Texas several years ago. He's still registered on their voter rolls and may have, in fact, actually voted. Not legally. He didn't vote. Someone received his ballot and voted for him. And we've seen stories like this cropping up all over the place. We've seen sworn affidavits, which are admissible in court. So to say that there is no widespread evidence of voter fraud, there's no evidence of widespread voter fraud, is a lie. It's all over the place. If you don't agree, sorry, you're not looking hard enough, or you're not looking at all, because this is popping up, again, all over the place. But the people you are told to listen to won't cover it. But I will, which is likely why I will get censored very soon. If my channel gains any sort of momentum, any sort of traction, if I get any sort of notoriety, this channel will get probably demonetized. Several videos will get taken down. All because I want you to know the truth, and our giant tech overlords don't. Understand this. The tech and the media overlords that we are told to trust are in the pockets of the wide government arm known as the Democratic Party. Don't trust them. They don't want what's best for you. I do. I'm not asking you to trust me. I'm asking you to go look at the information yourself. You may be surprised at what it is that you learn. Thanks for watching. Like I said at the beginning of this video, hit that like and subscribe button. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. Please, 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 this is one of my most important videos yet. Share this video with all of your friends. It is important that this information gets out. Thanks for watching. I'll be back here tomorrow.